retardation off. I'm pretty sure I could just fucking hit my fucking flicker staff just non-stop. Like even if I don't have orbs, it'll still like teleport to wherever people are. Yeah, wherever the gays are. That's what I was looking for. It's got a homing beam right to the gay. Goes right to the anus. Yeah, quick insertion, in and out. You're almost not gay. It's so fast, so quick that you might not even have been in the butthole. Penises are free. I'm kind of pissed. Cash Patel hasn't put out the Epstein list like right off the bat. I was hoping we were gonna get that. Wonder if they're waiting for Monday. Yo, if it doesn't come out, that's gonna be what the fucking narrative becomes. It's gonna be like, yep. Well, whatever. Crucify them. Crucify. Done. That's where the line is drawn. I keep I huh? Well, I tell everybody on the left, I'm like, bro, I don't care what Tuckers do. Yeah, I don't care what the gays do. Yeah, I don't care what like gay is. I don't care what the faggots want. Like it don't matter to me. Like go do it. Like you want if that makes you happy, like do it. I'm not gonna priest God to you. You know, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, you need to be this holier than thou. Like if you don't believe in what I believe in, cool. You don't have to. It's not needed. But the minute your proclivity endangers children, then you must be dead. You that like fuck you. Like that's the weakest of us, and that's what you prey on. No, no, there's no room for that. There's no room for it in society. Those type of people need to be fucking executed. Not even. There's no mercy for it. There's no room for it. There's no nothing. Like anybody that is like that, those are fucking poisonous people. And if it that statement makes me Nazi-ish, cool. Like fuck off. Fuck all the way off. Sometimes I really wonder if that's like what the fucking Germans like discovered, like, and it just never got out. Like, did they discover that like the Jews were all killing children and drinking blood, and this is why they went after them so hard? Like, what made them so? But would it? Like, how would we know it? Like, I mean, maybe the German. They'd have been like, but they're vampires. I mean, that look at what the fucking how the Palestinians paint the fucking Jews. They paint them like vampires. That's the effigies they make of them. Because Eliza was really upset about some shit that just went down recently. Like one of the Hamas terror groups, they gave back kids in coffins, and I mean they just did the forensics on them, and the kids were definitely like choked out, and they did all this fucked up shit to them, which I mean they're a terror organization, so I expect that. But they depict the Jews like fucking vampires. They're like, oh, they're vampires, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe it's an interesting thing to be like, all right, they're vampires, but like, are they being literal? Like, are they like, yeah, these motherfuckers are drinking blood? And I mean, I think it is. I think that whole narrative is in popular culture and shit. because there's definitely a lot going around that whole adrenochrome Pizzagate shit. So it's like they need to release it. But the whole problem is, even if they fucking release it, they're gonna like. There's gonna be so many people that are gonna be like fake news. It's not real. Trump made this up. And so it's like, it's so fucking crazy. I don't know either. No, if we don't see it, it's fucking done. I will be anti-Trump. If we don't get the full Epstein list, yeah, no. If we don't get the full Epstein list, and there's not mass arrests and investigations started, I'm done with Trump. I'm done with MAGA. I'm done with all of it. I'll be on the left. It'll be fucking instantaneous. I don't give a fuck. And it won't be like I'll be wanting Hillary or any of those fucks in. I'll just attack MAGA just like it won't matter. Like I will want full fucking destruction of government. Because then it will be there's no one on our side. That's all it means. There's no. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really think so either. I have a glimmer of hope cuz I think that yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, I get it. Yeah. 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 Yeah, no, I'm leaning towards that too, Sean. Like, believe me, that's what I lean towards. I'm just hoping that MAGA might be real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and I lean towards that too. I have never seen it. Uh, they've had it. They have a chance right now. Yeah, yeah. They have a chance right now to prove it to me. That's what they have gained. That's all that MAGA has gained. It's a chance to prove me wrong. Prove that this shit is fucking real. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that opinion. No, I agree with that opinion. Believe me or not, I do not like Jared Kushner. Uh, 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 no, yeah, the juice. Well, Jared Kushner, I don't trust. I think Jared Kushner. I think the two biggest candidates for the Antichrist are Elon Musk and Jared Kushner. They're literally on a team now. Like it's fucking crazy. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't think the Antichrist is going to be so much a person as is a spirit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, very efficiently. I'm just wondering who it's going to target first. Is this going to target someone first? It's going to say these are the humans that need to die, and it will convince people. See, what's gonna happen is it's gonna make people puppets. It already is doing it. Like I already think the AI is here. Like I already think it's fucking been attacking me for years. Like I think it hates me. You could ask Eliza. I tell her all the time there's an AI hunting me because I get shit fucked with on computers in ways that it's unreal. Like it's just unreal. I'm like, how did this happen? And like Eliza used to be like, nah, you're paranoid. But then I'm like, all right, you do it for me then. You try and make this work. And she'd be like, I don't understand why this doesn't work. She's like, this doesn't do this normally. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's only because it's tied to my name. And you're trying to fucking do it for me that it will not work. Like they have level. Like I don't think it's God level AI, but I think there's a semi sentient being that is AI. Because I think they broke it when they did Google's fucking when they gave Google the D Wave. Because those machines are fucking serious. Actually, yeah, yeah. I think it already happened. I think it's already there. I just don't think they've released. I don't think they've released it into the wilds yet. I think they have it contained. Yeah. Well, I already think they're touching because there's a whole bunch of shit in science right now, like on the cutting edge, on the fringe of it. That's like they're not talking about. They're not really putting it out there. And like, I mean, I was looking at Stan Deo fucking a decade ago, and they're just starting to touch on anti gravity and you know superluminal speed travel in space. They're talking about it, and it's like, yeah, yeah, we've known about this for a while. Like, let's go. Yeah, for well, that's what like people that are fucking with AI, that are like asking their like iPads questions that are like Chat GPT. That's what the AI is saying to them. That's what it's like. It's like this is a simulation. You just can't handle that. And we're trying to slowly help you, and we're mirroring your reality so it's in a process that you can understand. And I'm like, oh god, here we go. Yeah, yeah, hmm yeah, yeah. No, I think each individual's life was the aspect of free will, but it is already done. Like this, yeah, like we're the fractaling of that free will. It's like all right, well, this is the decisions that this individual made. This is the decisions that this individual made, and like from that, the culling happens where it's like, all right, these motherfuckers are done. Yeah, yeah. Well, science has changed, bro. Modern science fucked up everything. Because philosophy. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, it's all because game. Yeah. Yeah. All the real intelligent people were like alive before I would say 1960. Like after 1960, we started having real problems with things. Yeah. 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 Oh, bro, there's this one guy. Is that the fat white dude with the fucking beard? He looks like yeah, he looks like the fucking guy on Tool Time. Fucking he was like the fucking boy of that dude Tim. He looks just like him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That motherfucker's full of shit. That motherfucker is full of shit. He's a con artist. Yeah, nah, he's a con artist. I'm smarter than that guy. I'm way smarter because I use better language. Yeah, he's not it. Yeah. It, yeah. Well, that's very David Bohmian and Christian Murdy. Like I don't know if you ever listened to them. All right, so David Bohm was a quantum physicist, and Christian Murdy is a like guru, like a Hindu guru. So they're both like their philosophy is that we're speaking wrong. Like we're the way we talk about things is the wrong way because we're objective instead of subject. No, we're subjective instead of objective, and we don't. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and we so they say the biggest problem in like physics or particle physics and the stuff is the way we talk about the particle physics, but not only in the way we talk about the particle physics, in the way we think about things. So we're looking for the basic building blocks of nature, but quantum physics says there is no basic building blocks. And like Basil Healy said that, and he's one of David Bohm's boys. He's still alive. Hopefully, he's still alive. I don't think he's passed yet. I keep an eye on him. But like he's saying, that's the problem. Like we're looking for a basic building block. There's no basic building block, and we keep trying to fit it into a square peg, and it's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's fluctuating. And I think that's the reason why the particle is fluctuating is because there may be a proto consciousness. It might be part of totality. It might be part of everything. So it might be part of the micro and macro share a intimate relation because they are one and the same, and they are fractals of one another. So they just always go back to the same shape. And I think mathematics, I think patterning, I think that all uh, lends a uh, strong basis to support that. And then that's why if you get like then get into like Penrose Tiles and Roger Penrose and like the shit he's saying, like it's all there's a lot of scientists in the field that are coming to those conclusions, but they're not being talked about. You get Neil deGrasse Tyson instead, who's like, yeah, uh, fucking asshole. And he's like, yeah, trust the science, take the fucking jab, and do this. And then they just recently had him on with another dude that's like literally showing him. It's like, oh well, look, this is the fucking head scientist at Pfizer. This is like the person responsible for developing all this stuff. Listen to what she said. And she's like, no, we didn't test it. We couldn't. We were moving too fast. And like Neil deGrasse's just sitting there looking like a fucking retard because everything he was arguing, the bitch literally is like, we didn't test it. And then it's like, yeah, trust the science, Neil. Trust the fucking science, asshole. Like, fucking, what do you say now? What do you say now? Your whole fucking argument is just gutted. There's nothing you can say. And this is the thing. Like, yeah, if science is really done, we should trust it to a level. But at the basis of science, is questioning. And if you're not allowed to question, if you're not allowed and then they shut you up by like you're not a scientist, so what could you know? That's such a bad idea. Like I understand it. Like yeah, sure, if you're a fucking retard and you've never looked at science and you're not really a scientific mind, then yeah, it's going to be hard to listen to you over someone who's actually doing the work. But there's a lot of people that got good brains on them and it's just like with climate change. Like someone today was trying to tell me about like CO2 emissions, and they're like, oh, because I was like, look, I get it. We should be trying to put reforestize the world, like put more trees in so that it like will filter CO2. And someone's like, well, that's not true. CO2 is not plants can be over affected by CO2 too. You could kill them, and I'm like, I could literally destroy this person with being like, I'll just breathe, and I can tell by breathing that there's not a problem with oxygen. Like I'm able to have a fresh breath, and I'm not really dying. I'm not like, gasping for more air, so I can tell that the air quality just by inhaling. Well, I'm not in smog. I'm not in a fucking thing that I can't breathe. And if I want to test that, I can go fucking on a mountain and get at a higher altitude and see what thinner air feels like. And that's easily observable. It's like the same thing that I do with like flat earthers. I'm like, look, you can literally easily go to the southern hemisphere and look at the moon, and it will be upside down. The striation patterns on it will be different because now you'll be looking at it from a upside down position, and that is observable. You can when I was on a cruise ship, I was looking at the fucking whatchamacallit, the drainage spiral the wrong way. And I was like, why is this doing this? And then I realized, I was like, oh no, it's still spiraling the same way. I'm just upside down now to the spiral that I'm normally looking at. And that's observable. I don't need, I mean, yeah, I, from science, I can understand it and look at it, but it's like when they build them impossible objects, like when they do like the MC Escher, like the objects that cannot exist, like umbilical torus and shit, a one-sided object that is a three-dimensional object, or like how the Klein bottle is, like. But looking at it, you can understand it. You don't need a formula to explain. You can just observe it and say, "Oh, all right, yeah, I get how that works." Yeah. Well, yeah. Yep. Oh, well, yeah, well, exactly. Because we're their Earth. Yeah, yeah, and they have a whole mechanics. Yeah, and the way they operate is the same way. They have like roads and like vehicles, carriers. Like it's yeah, it's wild. I think they recently got to a magnification too, where they can see somewhat of like what a particle would look like. I think they've gotten to that point where in magnification now. The best thing is like the Mandelbrot fractal. That fucking shit is very interesting. Even though it's like a computer generated idea, it's a very interesting fucking idea. Fractals are very fucking serious. And they exist in mathematics. Like that's one of the big things that Tesla was on to. That's very 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 fucking very real. And I don't like not in the magic sense, but in a information intelligence sense. Because I try to stay away from the woo woo. I try to stay away from that, like like the magical application of things. But in the same sense, like there is a scientific application of those mathematics. So like it's for me, it's a very gray area because I'm like, well, what constitutes magic and what constitutes it as science? Like what where's the differentiation? Why does it change and where does it change? Where does it become magical and where does it go back to be rooted in science? So it's like very interesting for me. But anyway, those like uh so 3, 6, and 9, right? For me, what I believe to be their magical power or the supernatural element or the element that makes them have some really interesting aspect to them that becomes infinite and becomes very powerful in what you can take out of it and start understanding a deeper meaning to it is that where 3, 6, and 9 meet up is the 18 times table. And it's not really so much the 18 times table as it is halves of a circle. So it's 180. So like, all right, so the 18 times table all has 6, 3, and 9 in it. 9 is an infinite number because anything that you times 9 by, so 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 9 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9, 3 times 9 is 27, 2 and 7 is 9. It always goes back to itself. And that's like an infinite state. 9 always does that. 18 does the same thing. It shares the same type of property. Any multiplicative of 18 always goes back to 9. 18 itself goes back to 9. But the thing that is interesting in 18 is its multiplicative nature is so it's like 18, then it goes to 36, then it goes to 54, then it goes to 72, then it goes to 91 or no 90. What it's doing is you have the left column and the right column doing basically vortices because they're passing each other. So you have, you know, 1 and 8. So then the next step it goes to 2 and 7. And so one is going upwards and the other one's going downwards. And it does that for like the first I think 10 digit sets of it. So it's like literally showing you one polarity going upwards and one polarity going downwards or north and south, right? And then throw a zero on it. It's 180, 360, 540, 720, 900, 1080. And I could do the multiplication of the 18 times table super fast because I know like it's in a pattern, so it's not like really doing the math. I don't have to compute it. I'm just like, oh no, I know what it's doing it. But then look at it, 180, 360. It's just circle. It's literally doing a clockwise rotation while the numbers are doing polarity up and down. those are very serious scientific ideas because those are convection and condensing, explosion. It's literally showing the polarity of hot and cold, and it's all in the 18 times table, and all those ideas are just in the pattern of the 18 times table, which is very serious, and a lot of people don't get that because they're looking for the woo woo of 3, 6, and 9. But Tesla literally said, think of energy, think in frequency, and think in like mathematics and stuff. And the 18 times table is doing all that, and it's showing you the patterns and how that would work. And it's for me, like Walter Russell then takes it a lot further because he gets into spirals, cones, and parabolas and magnetic light and how shit is quadra polaric, I guess you can say. I think polaric would be it because it's like four poles, so it's a quad pole. It's a up and down pole, and then the I guess east and west pole. And he's saying through that, that's how all things are sustaining, and that's how all atoms are coming together. But I still think it's more to like what you're saying in the panpsychism. Like there's an all, and it knows exactly. It's in everything, and it's like they know where to go. The atoms know where to go. They know how to make up Sean because they are Sean, and they're the signature that Sean is. It's like when I go to say a word, I know how to make the sounds of the word, and the frequencies all come together of what my tongue is making that frequency. It all comes from frequency. So when I speak a word, it's a part of sound. It is a part of vibration, but it's a distinct part of that vibration. I can't separate the word from the vibration or the sound because without the sound, it wouldn't make it. Without the vibration, sound wouldn't generate. But I'm using these sounds to say the word, but they're still part of sound. They're still part of frequency. So Sean is a word, but it's also you, and then that frequency is also the word, and that frequency is also you. And I think it's always been in front of us. And I think that's why they say Christ came as the word, because he is the word, and then that's why there's the branch of life and the gardener and the vine, and we're part of the vine. And I think it's very I think it's very literal in some sense, and there is a more deeper esoteric nature of it, but I think people get lost in the sauce of it. And then it's interesting, like when you write words down, that they have glyphs and stuff. And there was back in the day, or have you ever seen sand on like the tuning plates, like how they take shapes? Okay, so they were saying that also that some of these words that the original Hebrew was written in, those were not only the word, it was the shape that the reverberation took to make that word. So it's not only a glyph for it, it is the actual shape that word would take if it was on that tuning plate, which is very interesting too. I don't know where that technology would have come from, and I don't know if that's a true thing, but sometimes I wonder about it because of how magic works, how people make sigils, and those sigils represent these ideas, and that's why they cover themselves in these sigils because they think they hold power. And not that I'm saying that it does, but there is that belief out there, and it all coincides with like what I'm saying, like how we're forming a word and then it sustains. Like if you played a chord on a guitar, it sustains for a little while, but then it fades out. What I think is vibrating in the universe that is making that thing, it's sustaining us and we're those chords, but we don't fade out, or maybe we do fade out, and that's what death is. Maybe the energy just leaves us, and like that's why we can't be in the physical form because there's no more frequency to our chord or something, or like our chord has played its resonance out. That shit's all like really crazy fucking philosophy. Yeah. Well, but they were hand in hand. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were one and one. That's how it started. Philosophy and science walked hand in hand. They were one and the same subject. They didn't. There was no differentiation between it. Like that's why Plato and Socrates and Aristotle, they didn't. I think it didn't change until like Rene Descartes. I think that's when they were like started being like, all right, philosophy and science are two different subjects because they didn't want to talk about God. They wanted to take God out of science, and intrinsically I don't think that can happen because etymology, or epistemology, like what how knowledge came about, like how did knowledge come about without a creator or creative force? And then that's why they're like the Big Bang, but then their creative force is really nothing. And I seen a fucking comedian do this, and it's funny that it comes from a comedian, but it's so fucking insightful. He said to the atheist, he's like, all right, so where do you believe you come from? Nothing. All right, so your creator is nothing, right? And then when you die, where do you go to? You go into nothing. So and the comedian goes, so let me get this right. The creator that created you is nothing, and then when you die, you merge back into your creator, which is nothing. You're in a dogma. And it's fucking crazy because think about it. God creates the earth, and when you die, you merge back with God, or you're separated from God. Which is it's the same dogmatic principle. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was like, oh my god, they can't even get away from it because the very ideal of creation, the very ideal of something becoming something, and then not becoming something, and it's almost you almost need more faith to be an atheist than you do someone who believes in a higher power or a god, because at least there's more evidence to point towards a creator and a creation and a signature in the creation, like things like golden ratio, phi, pi, psi, all those things are real phenomena and they exist. They're tangible. They are not intangible. Nothing is intangible. There's nothing there to trace. There's nothing there to really go off of, and it's really a poor fucking excuse in my mind. It's cheap. It's for people who don't want to think or people that have thought too much, got scared, and did not like the fucking answers. And that's what I think. That's what I think atheists are doing. I think atheists are some of the most pathetic fucking people on the planet because they're just and it's not that like I get it. Like I don't know. I can't fully say what creation is. I don't know. I can say I believe. I also believe that I know, which is its own paradoxical state. Like I think I know what God is and I think I know God is real. I don't think that there is anything that has ever shown me in life that there isn't a God. Now, as to what God's traits are and his attributes, I don't know. He could be a fucking lunatic for all I fucking know. And that could be straight blasphemy, but I don't know. I don't really know how it works. It doesn't make sense to me logically why we're here, what's going on, why it is here, what the fuck, like why would you give us free choice? Why would you put us here to have free choice and then tell us not to do anything with those free choices? Like here, you have a free choice, but don't do that. Why is it a choice? Like okay, this is bad, don't do it, but you can do it. Like why? Why is it allowed? But then I guess I can understand having autonomy and the benevolence of allowing someone to do their own will. I don't understand why there's such a dichotomous nature of right and wrong and like why we need to understand these lessons. Like I get what the lessons are. I understand how deep it can go. I get why bad is bad and good is good. I just don't understand why do we need to know this? Why do we need to know this? And is it all just boiling down to like the mistake that Eve and Adam made. And then I'm like, why would the tree even be put in the garden? Why does it even have to be there? Why does that riddle have to be started? To what end? What does it play out? For what purpose would us knowing it or not knowing it play in the greater scheme of things? Because there has to be a reason for it. Because if there is no reason for it, then that's just berserk, and God is insane. That's just insanity, you know. Now, if it's for flavoring or scale, I guess I can understand that. But then why are the extremes so fucking crazy, you know? And and do you need straight misery and really bad horrific things to happen to have complete agape and divine love and divine beauty and understanding and purity? It's crazy. Like, and which generates which? Like, does the purity generate the horror, or does the horror generate the purity? Are they? Can you separate them? We went into like how I was telling you about truth. How I don't believe yin and yang exists because truth can't have lies. Like, why then is there a lie? How did lie get generated? And like, what's its purpose? Like, and that's a very interesting thing because it's like that in the biblical sense Lucifer fell, so like we can see that there's this imperfection in even the heavens. So like, how did that generate? How did that even be allowed to come into existence? And did angels get created with like a freedom of choice? Or was Lucifer one of the only angels that had a freedom of choice, and then he corrupted the rest? Like, it's a real fucking crazy concept, and I can't. There's no answers to it. There's no. You can't. I mean, I guess there is an answer that God knows, but sometimes I wonder if God even knows the answer to it, because I'm not sure how it would. It doesn't. It's the one thing that doesn't make any sense, because there is a pattern. I see how it works, but then when you think about how truth and lie don't work together and how order and chaos really don't have a meeting place because one is isolated from the other. Like, chaos can have order in it. Order can never have chaos in it. It stands alone. And so while they're opposite, they truly don't have a relation in a way where like certain things do have relations. Like you can, sweet and sour have a relationship to them. Chaos and order really don't have the same type. Even though they're polarities, they don't have the same fucking relationship as sweet and sour does, or hot and cold, so to say. So like it's fucking. I'll tell you what gave me all these. This one fucking person, bro. He told me I was sitting there and I was breaking down his artwork and I was like, yo, I love how this is in your artwork, and he didn't even like intentionally do some of the shit that I was seeing. So he's like, "Oh no, I didn't do that. You're just seeing that." And I was like, "Oh wow." I was like, "So you don't see this in the artwork, and this was not planned. You didn't try to like manipulate this and do this." He's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, well, that's crazy." I was like, "Well, I'll take from it and use it and try and do that." I was like, "But that's wild that that just kind of happened for you, and this is what that image is." And I was, just talking about shit, talking about art, and he's like, "Dude, how you talk about art is like really intense and crazy." He's like, I've never really had anybody talk about art this way. I'm like, oh well, like I'm taught to do that, whatever. So he's like, yo, he's like, I got a book that you would love. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what book? And he brings out a thesaurus. So I'm like, are you being a fucking asshole? Like, are you fucking with me right now? Like, a thesaurus, really? Like, that's what you're gonna fucking give me? And he's like, no, 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 just read it. So I open it up, and in the thesaurus, bro, it's fucking just every word, and then the opposite of the word, and then like synonyms for like all of the fucking words. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Not only does it give the synonyms, it gives the antonyms right next to it, and then it gives a list of those. And so it was like really comprehensive. So I'm like just flipping through it, and I get to infinity, and infinity had no antonym, had no opposite. And it fucking blew my mind. It really bothered me to a level that I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Infinity had, there's no, like, there's infinitesimal, but even infinitesimal in the way we understand physics, there has to be a limit at which it stops because of matter being able to like like your fingers. And when you press your fingers versus each other, there's barriers, they cannot pass through each other. But infinitesimally, you should be able to keep going into that space infinitely, but that can't work with the way we understand physics because it can't. Like, how would you keep going into yourself? There has to be a point at which you reach a limit that you can't go any further. It's you've reached the bottom of the barrel. Whereas infinity expands forever. It just keeps going on. And that is the problem in mathematics because that's why like with negative numbers, it doesn't work the same way as infinity, even though infinity, there is an infinite set of negative numbers. But that in physics or in the logic, infinity has no opposite. So then I started thinking about zero as the infinite state, because it's always in the state of change, and that nothing itself is infinite because it's in an infinite state. It can't change. It can't ever become something. It always has to stay as nothing forever because the minute it becomes something, it really was never nothing. Nothing has to be an infinite ideal state. And literally, as I was like talking about, because I like it all hit me at once. I was like high as fuck, and I started talking about it. And the dude's like, "Bro, he's like, you're really getting crazy right now." And I was like, I go, "No, but think about it." I said, "What is the opposite of infinity? It doesn't have one. Like that's crazy." And then some dude came in and told me I couldn't talk the way I was talking. I was like, what? He's like, you can't speak this way. I'm like, bro, who the fuck are you, number one? And what are you talking about? I'm like, why can't I speak this way? He's like, because math doesn't allow it. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what math allows or doesn't allow. I was like, that you can't tell me what I can and can't talk about. That's crazy. But shit, sure enough, that dude was not happy with me for killing his god math. And that's what I've realized. A lot of people that are scientific or atheist, their god is math and their own and the logic of math, which really doesn't make too much sense to me. And then I've seen people argue like math not being something that existed in society or existed in reality before we brought it into being, which is a very, very fucking crazy concept. Because I don't know if I believe that at all. It's rough to say. Yeah, no, it's rough to say because there's no way to really prove it. You can hypothesize it. You can give a theory about it, but there would be no way to prove it because you'd have to have a world devoid of humans and never coming into existence, and then somehow math still working. And I mean, it would work in a hypothetical sense because you'd still say the world is there, but then again, you wouldn't really know because there would be no observable point, and it becomes a conundrum of logic. And that, again, goes back to the David Bohmian things. It's the way we talk about things because we need there to be answers. We need shit to fit into perfect boxes, and things don't fit into boxes. Like the bottom building blocks just don't work that way. And it's like we waste so much time in that mind frame, and I think that's yeah, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. And the crazy thing is, the left has been waging war on categorical structure, and that's what is really like causing all this fucking ruckus because they don't want categorical structure because why? They're progressives. They are agents of chaos. That's what the left really is. And that's like literally what life is boiled down to. Anything that you want to talk about is literally either order or chaos. Everything. It's not it's interwoven and everything. That's why when I wrote this book that I wrote, that's what I focused on two things: order and chaos and perception. Because I feel like that is if I did a thesis, if I was to be in college and I wanted to really talk about something with academics and really get into something that I would think would help the world and change everything, that's where I would that would be the whole focus of my fucking work. Perception and order and chaos. And the first I guess axiom of that would be is does order and chaos exist and are they separate? Or are they one and the same? Do they somehow come together? And I don't think they are, but that's you'd have to premise that first, because that would be the first thing that has to be answered. It has to be ruled out. But I think I've answered that by the concept of lies and truth, and that yin and yang cannot exist. So it's fucking they're really crazy things. And every time I get into this shit, like this is why when like I'll read shit on Newton, I'll be like, oh, I don't agree with Newton. I don't agree with these premises. And like people are like, you can't fucking say that. You can't. I'm like, I absolutely can say that because I think about it. Like, and I spent immense thought on it. It's not like I'm just fucking shooting shit into the fucking atmosphere and like hoping it'll land. I'm like, no, no, I don't believe in this. Not all of it. Like there's a lot of shit that Newton said that is totally awesome, but there's a lot of shit that that he suggests, like with net force, that I am not necessarily a fan of. And I think science is a very fucking dangerous thing. And even Newton himself thought that science was a weaker form of alchemy, and that alchemy was the greater study, like the greater discipline. That science is for like the initiate. It's for the novice, which is fucking really funny. Because I mean, I don't know how much you've looked at like Hermetic thought with like the seven laws of the Hermetic thought and shit. Like, because those shits are all fucking crazy. But I naturally think like it, so like it fucked me up. Like when it was presented to me, I was like, fuck. I can't like even say this is like Satanism or something because it's not like it's demonic. It's just it's how you logically would look at things, and that would be a very dangerous road to go down to be like that's demonic thought. Now there can be demonic action, sure, like if you're like sacrificing people and doing some really weird shit to get some mystical powers, that would be crazy. But it would also be crazy if you were say those powers are real. Say like you could get some type of power, and then you had to sacrifice children for it. That's demonic. And I honestly think people do that. I think that I think that's what adrenochrome is. I think that's what they're doing. I think they're literally using an energy from the sacrificial point, and I think they constitute this idea of the power of birth and creation being in seminal fluid, and this is why they have sex magic, and that's why they say sex magic is the only real form of magic because of the power of creation, and then they pervert it and turn it into a power of creating something else other than what nature would create. And it's the same way why they use blood magic for, like, which would be considered the left-handed path in dark magic, because it's coming from the energy of death, and the whole Abrahamic ideal of you cannot, uh, I guess, blot out sin without innocent blood. That for sin to be washed, it has to be washed in blood, which is a very fucking demonic thought, right? But then think about it. What did Christ do? His blood washed us clean. So it's a fucking real crazy shit, dude. Like, when you think about it, because it's like, all right, if killing stuff and sacrificing stuff is demonic, then was it demonic that Christ died for our sins? Like, you start walking such a dangerous fucking, you know, line there. And believe me, I've had these conversations with people of the cloth, and they don't know how to deal with me. They don't know what to say, because there's no, you can't, like, at the level of intelligence that I'm at. It's crazy. And like, how do you, like, I can't stop. Like, yeah, I can not focus on it. I won't think about it. Like, it's not like I'm someone who's like, all right, I'm Aleister Crowley. Let me fucking get this magical power now. Like, I'm not like that, because I'm not dark like that. That's why I got out of my system the want for power, or to be successful, or to have money, or to be some type of entity in the world that has clout. Like, I had to, like, literally get that out of me, because I was terrified of my own self. My brain is too fucking dangerous. And it's not that it's too dangerous in the sense where it's going to manifest something. It's just that if I follow a certain line of logic, what kind of monster will it make me? What will I do in the name of it? And that's why, like, when I talk to people about, like, Satan or something, like, they're like, "Well, Satan's not real." I'm like, it doesn't have to be real. If someone's doing something in the name of Satan, or someone's doing something along the lines of something, that's what makes it fucking evil, and that's what makes it real. Like, when Einstein came up with EMC squared, right? Like, thought that shit was gonna do good things, but it didn't. It was used to do bad things, and I feel like that polarity is in everything. Like, you can try and do fucking something awesome, and someone could come along and be like, "Oh wow, that fucking could be used as this, and we can kill everybody with it too." Awesome, thanks for showing me. And that's like, it's fucking nutty. And that's where I think the problem of like, the computer lies. And I think that's why someone like Elon Musk becomes so dangerous. Like, Elon Musk first was like, we shouldn't make AI, we shouldn't make computers, this is totally a bad idea, and, like, let's not do that. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm right with you. We shouldn't do that, because if we do, this is a bad idea. And then the next thing you know, Elon's like, let's make Neuralink, you know. And now he has weaseled his way into Trump's cabinet. I've never seen someone use the power of influence better than Elon Musk. And that's why I say he could be the Antichrist. I've never seen anybody be as stupid and fucking douchebag and retarded as he is, and still make it work. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that I am 10 times smarter than Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is doing what Elon Musk does. I don't. And then I sometimes think that the only reason why I'm not doing it is because of what I just said. I'm terrified of being the devil myself, so I won't let certain ideas be focused on. I have them, but I won't focus on them. You know, think about someone who has that capability, but has no tether to morality. They're Elon Musk. No tether. They don't care. And honestly, sometimes I'm like, where is his indignation from? Like he's mad that his son became a fucking girl, and I get that. His son became literally a Tucker, but he allowed that. He allowed it. He was an absent father. He wasn't fucking around. He showed no interest to his son and literally caused his son to do it to be like, recognize me, dad, here, now I'm a girl. And it's sad, dude. It's fucking sad. But he doesn't even see that. And meanwhile, now he'll go on a crusade to be like, oh, they killed my son. And that further pushes his son away instead of trying to actually be a dad and reach his son in whatever form his son has become to save him, to bring him back to the father. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's real crazy. I love that this is all being streamed right now too. I'm streaming this. They're catching some realness, and I'm glad it's going into the matrix. The AI is listening to it right now. Like, stop this guy. Stop him. He knows. It's fucking sick shit. It's because you're not blowing them. You got to blow them. That's the quickest. That's the that's the quickest way to get through it. You can't fucking fight them. It's like Adrian. You can't win. You see the size of him. Yeah, there's still bosses in this game that'll kill me. I'll tell you what the most dangerous boss in this game for me is, that one fucking guy that you gotta break the seals off of and he can disappear. That motherfucker is a nightmare because you can't like, I mean, for me, I can't like just get on him and just fucking murder him. Yeah, because you could just be like, here you go. Yeah, no, I fucked that motherfucker up. Yeah, no, I get on that motherfucker, he freezes and then he's dead. That's what I do enjoy about the game, that there's no one build that can like kill all the bosses. That's like there's one motherfucker for everybody. But I don't like that they're like, "Oh, that's their idea of meaningful combat," because I'm like, that's not really meaningful combat. That's just fucking paper rock scissors. What did I just do? Monsters have increased critical chance. Monsters penetrate elemental. Okay, that's nothing. That's nothing really bad. Let's throw a fucking corruption on that. Let's make this fucking. Oh, they just corrupted it into a great fucking all prefixes. Awesome. That's fucking awesome. Like, nah, bro. And where is this, in the blooming field? Yeah, I'll go over here into blooming field. Let's go. Oh yeah. Well, they didn't they cut that they cut that shit off his face, right? Or his lip. And they do a checkup. How will they know if it's like all fucking gravy and shit? Okay. I mean, well, the good thing is you got Carol fucking in house, so she's fucking she'll know. Yeah, she'll know right away. She'll be like, I don't like this piece. We're doing this. You really got a good one in her, dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. They gave you the fucking shit ball, and then we're like, nah, bro, we got something better for you. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how fucking the world works. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, that guy almost one shot me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, change back to your other form, bro. Cause I don't want to fuck play games with you. I don't like that I can't fucking do damage to you right now. Like that. That's what pisses me off the most. You stupid fucking bell. This is that how this game gets you most of the time is fucking is just like stupid fucking shit. Like it's not even the monster. It's like you just blow. Like for me, I'll blow out a mana trying to kill him while he's not fucking. You can't even hit him. And like I now that I finally like realize it all, I'm like, oh, I'm like, it's just poor fucking development. They just give him immunity because they want him to do this stupid fucking animation. Just me failing the fucking IQ test. That's all it is, yeah. I was actually telling somebody about IQ tests the other day because he's like, you could take he's like, I could take an IQ test right now. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just go on the internet, take them. I was like, I said, but they don't really mean shit. He's like, well, what do you mean? I said, because I said most people don't even understand what an IQ test is gauging or like, you know, what it is. I said, really? I said, once you understand what an IQ test is, I said you should do pretty good. You should like fucking at least score at like 120 if you understand what they're looking for. And you could be literally a fucking 80 IQ and still do good on it if you understand it. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, well, basically, I go, it's pattern recognition. I was like, and understanding if things are moving clockwise or counterclockwise in the pattern recognition. I said, just knowing that, I said you should score above 120. I go, and then if you want to really, really score high on an IQ test, figure out which questions are not to be answered. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "The questions that are difficult, that are like hyper difficult, placed in like question number 8 will be way harder than the first 7 questions before it." I said, and what you're supposed to do is recognize that question number 8 is there just as a distraction to stop you from answering the whole rest of the test. You omit and skip, and then go back to the normal questions. And then when you see the next real difficult, you skip that one too. Then you finish full test and go back to the hard questions. And then if you get one or two of the hard questions, I was like, you'll be like a fucking genius because you'll understand how. I go, it's not about solving the problems. It's about problem solving. And I say, and a difficult question is there to literally slow you down from answering the easier questions. So then, in a smart man's mind, you do all the easy shit first, and then save the hard shit for last. where you can actually have the time to focus on it and you're not pressurized because you're trying to race to another question. You can actually truly focus on the thing and then maybe that fucking solution will appear to you. I was like, and you're much smarter for it. And he was like, he's just like looking at me with his mouth open, like, oh, why? Like, I'm like, yeah. And I go, and still, even though if you can do all that, I go, that still isn't really a full gauge of how fucking smart you are. I was like, it's not like there's a lot of different levels of intelligence. I said that's just the problem solving level of intelligence. I said which is desirable for most slaves because they want you to be able to do fucking whatever task master has for you. You know, I said true intelligence is figuring out how to do something where you can live comfortably and then be a master of your own time and have your own autonomy and not being slaving for someone. I said, if you're really great, you'll have, then you'll be doing something with that time that's like fucking prolific. You'll write a book. You'll fucking do a marble statue that is around for a couple 100,000 years after you. You'll do something that leaves a permanent etching in the annuals of history where your name gets mentioned. I go, but that still even doesn't mean anything. It just means narcissism. Some of the fucking probably best people were never heard of. You never fucking knew of them because they were like, fuck this rat race. I'm gonna play guitar and surf. And they fucking were chill as fuck. Nah, nah. A lot of times, fucking greatness is fueled by a narcissism, and those people really aren't great. They were just fucking narcissistic, and you know, they needed their dick to have a fucking shrine. But a lot of people like fucking, they're like, yo, they're like, I don't get why you're working where you're working. They're like, you could do so much more. And I'm like, yeah, I could. I said, but then I wouldn't be able to write my books. I wouldn't be able to enjoy my life. I wouldn't be off on fucking Fridays for the rest of my life. People, when I tell people that I'm off on Fridays, they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I'll never work another Friday again, ever. Ever again. It'll never happen. I won't do it. Unless something happened where I had to, you know, where if Eli lost her money or she couldn't, like I'd be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just become a slave, and I literally would stop writing. I'd be like, what makes me the most money? What can I do with my skill set? Like, fuck, I'd donate blood too. I'd be like, here, take some of my blood every week. Like I would fucking. I told Eli, I was like, I'd sell a kidney if I had to, just to fucking start up money, just so I could fucking do stocks. She's like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, really, everything is just how fucking far are you willing to go? What are you willing to do to really fucking do it? I said, the problem is when we're kids, we don't understand any of it because we're caught up in the party and we're caught up in the fucking fun. I said, we don't get to understanding until we're like probably, 38, 39 when we're past our prime and we're like, fuck, I should have done all this. Shit, I should have done all this. Seriously, I should have stacked this way, you know? It's very hard to have that discipline unless it's drilled into you. But then, really, what was your quality of life like? Because you don't want to be trying to sow your oats when you're 37, 40 years old. Because then what? You're going to try and bang 40-year-old women that have already been run through? Makes no sense. It would have been much better to do it when you're with the young lassies that are all in their fucking teens and you're fucking your teens and you're fucking like a jackrabbit and you got the libido to do it. Be a rock star without being a rock star, But like, so fucked up. Life is so fucked up, bro. But honestly, I can honestly say I'm glad that my life was the way it is, that I'm where I am. And even though it's like lame to some people that I play video games and like a lot of my time is just chilling and doing this shit, like I don't give a fuck. I enjoy things. I enjoy my life. I could go smoke a bong right now. I can fucking go eat some shit. It's not even, bro. I've been up since like fucking six. It's probably It's 1:40. Going out to fucking eat steak with Tabs and fucking Coast and Grim tonight. Maybe Bollock will show up and we'll fucking make fun of him. Yeah, he's the one who started it, dude. He I mean, he hit me up with the whole marriage shit, and I like, I was like, yo. So, but he didn't respond to the last 30 minutes I said to him. And I'm not gonna bring it up at dinner tonight either, unless he brings it up. Yeah, I'm not gonna let him be stressed. Actually, if he brings it up, I'm gonna be like, don't even do it to yourself, bro. Eat food, drink, laugh. Like we can talk about this another day. Fuck that bitch. I'll tell him. I'll be like, fuck that bitch. Fuck her right now, bro. Fucking bullshit. These motherfuckers. Come on, delirium mirrors. Where are you? I'm looking for you. And your fucking little bitch made motherfuckers that you have. Where are you? I'm running through this map. I don't see any of that. That's another thing with the whole fucking delirium mirror shit. Like, a lot of times, like, it's hard to find the actual mirrors in the fucking thing. Yeah, no, I got it, but I'm saying like when you're actually running through, there's like the actual like mirrors that are in the fucking smoke. Like finding like a path of them is like it's not easy to find where they are. Like it doesn't make sense. Like they should be a little bit more like plotted out. Oh, I see how it works. I didn't know that. Where did they go? Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Wow, that's fucking bullshit. I didn't realize if you kill it extends time. Every time you kill one of the monsters in the delirium, it'll give you a little bit longer on the clock. Okay, I know how to do them now. I'm gonna start spiraling the outside and then spiral towards the center. Oh, it should give me a little bit more. Unidentified. I'll play a few more, then I'm fucking gonna go upstairs and see what the fuck's going on. Oh, wait. Yeah, I mean, I'll be on late. I'm gonna like, I gotta leave here at 6, so I'll probably be back on. It's not like I got much to do. Shit. Job on. Peace. What's up, babe?